What up guys, Miguel here of Yugitech, and let's talk about Realme real quick. A former sub-brand of Oppo, recently Realme's been making a noise just with the introduction of the Realme 3 this year. Now they're turning things up a notch with the Realme 3 Pro. So which one do you think you should buy? Now with the Realme 3 and the Realme 3 Pro out, you might be confused as to which one you should get. So let's take a look. Starting off with design, both sport a gradient look at the back that are made of plastic, which actually makes the phone overall lighter to hold. The Realme 3 has a more refreshed gradient style by having the major color at the bottom. Realme calls it starry particles, and it does look nice. For colors, the Realme 3 is available in dynamic black and radiant blue, while the Realme 3 Pro comes in 3 variants: carbon gray, nitro blue, and lightning purple. You'll also find their respective dual rear cameras, LED flash, and fingerprint scanner at the back. Up front, both phones boast a dewdrop notch with slim bezels, and a smaller chin for the Realme 3 Pro, to give you a slightly bigger display at 6.3 inches and not to mention a higher resolution at 2340 by 1080. The Realme 3 on the other hand has a 6.22-inch HD Plus screen at 1520 by 720. Colors look good, but you can really expect a better viewing experience with the Realme 3 Pro. For protection, the Realme 3 has Corning Gorilla Glass 3, while the Pro version has Gorilla Glass 5. Obviously, the Pro version has a huge display advantage here in terms of protection. Quickly onto software, you get the same Android 9 Pie skin with ColorOS 6, so you really get a similar Android experience as well. Next up is their hardware. The Realme 3 Pro gets a Snapdragon 710, which we can really say performs better and is more power efficient than the Realme 3's Helio P60 chipset. The standard Realme 3 is available in a few options. You can get it in either a 3GB of RAM and 32GB of internal storage, 3GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, or 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Meanwhile, the Pro offers 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, and a 6GB of RAM and 128GB of internal storage option. Based off our Antutu benchmark score, the Realme 3 got a total of 128,288, while the Realme 3 Pro got a higher score at 154,400. These scores already say a lot on which device is better in terms of CPU and gaming. Also taking into consideration that the Pro version has a higher RAM capacity even at their most base variant. However, when it comes to gaming, the standard Realme 3 can absolutely deliver and can even handle heavy games. Compared to the Realme 3 Pro, we noticed that there's just a little boost in performance. So in terms of gaming, either of the two is fine. Now keeping these phones running, for the Realme 3 Pro, you get a 4045 mAh battery. And for the standard Realme 3, you get 4230 mAh. Now, it's kinda nice to see a bigger battery for the Realme 3. However, the Pro version gets VOOC 3 flash charging technology, so it depends on what you really prefer. Nonetheless, both phones still use micro USB, and we think, for now, we can consider that given their affordable price tags. Now let's talk about cameras. The Realme 3 Pro gets a dual camera setup on the back that consists of a 16-megapixel main shooter with an aperture rating of f1.7 and a 5-megapixel sensor for sensing depth. For selfies, you get a 25-megapixel sensor with an aperture rating of f2. Going to the standard Realme 3, for the rear you also get a dual camera setup that consists of a 13-megapixel sensor with an aperture rating of f1.8, plus a 2-megapixel depth sensor. And for selfies, you get a 13-megapixel sensor with an aperture rating of f2. Since the Pro has a Snapdragon 710 chipset, you can directly notice the improvement in image processing. Plus, because of this, we get to enjoy recording videos up to 4K. Alright, let's talk about pricing. Starting off with the online exclusive 3GB of RAM plus 32GB of internal storage variant, it's priced at 6,990 pesos. For the 3GB of RAM plus 64GB of internal storage option, that's priced at 7,990 pesos. And for the 4GB of RAM plus 64GB of internal storage option, that's priced at 9,990 pesos. So any variant of the standard Realme 3 will always be below 10,000 pesos. On the other hand, the Realme 3 Pro is available at 12,990 pesos for the 4GB of RAM plus 64GB of internal storage option, and 14,990 pesos for the 6GB of RAM plus 128GB of internal storage option. Note that the Pro will be available starting May 25, 2019. So which one should you buy? Well, if you're really on a tight budget, and you don't mind getting lesser features like a 720p display, average charging time, then go ahead for the Realme 3, since it still delivers performance for your day-to-day use and gaming. However, if you have the extra budget to get a real bang for your buck, then save up now for the Realme 3 Pro. So, which one are you guys gonna get? The standard Realme 3, or are you guys gonna wait for the Realme 3 Pro? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit ukitech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and I'll see you in the next one.